Hello, artist. My name is Victor Boyden, and this is Ilustra Unfiltered podcast, the podcast that tells you everything that you always wanted to know about the illustration career, but nobody wanted to tell you until now. So I'm bringing you here all the secrets and all the things that happen behind the scenes while nobody's watching, while nobody is judging you or seeing your art. Here I'm talking directly to you, the artist, the person behind the art. So before we begin, guys, I have a new Instagram with content in English. If you're still not following me there, the link is here in the description of this podcast. But if you want to look for yourself, it's instagram.com/BoydenIlo, Ilo with two L's, okay? So today we will be talking about expectations, how they can really bring bad things to your career, how they can ruin everything in your life and also in your career. So this episode is really hard for me because I'm not sure about you, but I've been living a life full of expectations. Today, as while I'm recording this episode, I am 42 years old, and it has been like at least 30 years of expectations that brings a lot of other emotions and thoughts with them. And sure, social media today contributes to that. So when you enter on Instagram and TikTok, you are bombed with a lot of information like how you should raise your children, how to be a perfect partner. Look at me, I am an illustrator and I'm also on a boat. I'm really rich and I've made all this money last month with my art. And then you see how much you're doing with your art and said, "Oh my God, what I am doing wrong here? Why am I so bad? Why it works for everybody else, but not for me?" And then you keep scrolling and then you see a lot of Albert Einstein's quotes. It looks like Einstein wasn't a physicist. It looks like he was a life coach. All the inspirational quotes that you see on Instagram, you are going to see Albert Einstein, and you say, "Oh my God." Then Instagram tells you how you should eat your breakfast, how you're supposed to go to the bathroom, and if you don't eat right, you're not a good person. If you don't boil your eggs this way, you're going to have cancer and you're going to die and you're not a good person. You're not going to heaven. Vote for him. No, no, vote for me. So we are bombed with different information every time, every hour, every minute of your day. And then what happens is that we create in your minds a perfect scenario of how our life should be. And I mean, this applies to all normal people, but we, my friends, we are not normal people. We are artists. We can add another level of expectations to our minds. We keep thinking how our art should be looking like. We have expectations of how people should react to our masterpieces. We are so creative, so people should react this way to my new drawing, to my new uploaded project to my portfolio. We create expectations of how much clients should value and pay for us, for our work, for our art. How much income we should make every month. How our artistic lifestyle should look amazing on Instagram. Hey, look at this. I'm creating a book cover while I'm traveling to the Caribbean, to Mexico, to Mexico beaches. I don't know. Maybe my accent is going to give uh, another meaning to that. But beach is like I don't know, guys. The beach where you're going to play with your children with sand in the ocean. Okay, but again, our life should not be amazing, but it should also look amazing to other people, and that keeps bringing you a lot of frustration, all because of expectations. We create expectations of how many likes or comments or engagements that our posts on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube or whatever should have. This, guys, is just insane. I'm just out of breath just to think about of that. I feel a pressure on my chest only to think about that. And this is breaking us down. This is not working for us. Our life should be different. But my friend, it can be different. This is all inside of our minds. This is all traps that we create inside of our minds. Okay? But why does it why things are like that? Why does it is like that? Let me tell you about our minds. Okay? I love to talk about this. I learned this from the book The Surrender Experiment from Michael Singer. In Portuguese, is like uh, the great, letting it be, the great surrender, something like that. The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer. This was a life-changing book for me. Okay, so imagine this: our minds, they are like an app. Imagine that you are like iOS, like Android, and our minds, they are not like an app. No, not like an app, like the operational system of our head. Okay, and what is the main purpose of any operational system? Functionality and stability, right? So our minds are all the time creating the perfect scenario for our lives. How things should be and people should behave so our life would be perfect. How our partner should behave, how our family should behave, about everything. How the weather should look like, how our house, our home should look like. Our minds are all the time creating the perfect scenario of our lives. So then we can have stability. We can then feel safe. So for that, it creates like a Cinderella tale inside of our heads. It keeps telling us how life should be for us to be happy. Can you see the paradox here? Our mind wants to create stability, but the structure for that is so fragile that in the end of the day, it becomes the opposite. It becomes unstable. Because guess what? Your partner is not going to behave like you imagine all the time. Accidents happen. Your bus is going to be delayed. Sometimes the work doesn't come like the way you were imagining. And then there's AI. And then there's a new update to the AI that is no, no, now I'm going to die. I'm going to starve. Yeah, with this ChatGPT update, I'm going to starve. And we keep creating that. We keep creating resistance to how life should be. There shouldn't be AI. Oh, yeah, I agree with you. I don't like AI. But again, it is here. So the resistance to it is just going to bring us frustration because it's, this kind of evolution, this kind of new things, they are really different from the perfect scenario that our mind has created. So every event that happens different from what the mind has created, every event that happens different from our mind expectations is going to cause us stress, make us angry, sad, and anxious. So every time we live a life full of expectations, we are going to fail. There's no way for you to have success if you live a life of expectations. Okay? And this, it took me a long time to learn this because, again, sometimes it works. We imagine a thing, a scenario, how things should happen, and then that happens, and then we are filled with joy and happiness. But it doesn't happen all the time. So how can we be happy when things are not happening the way we imagine? And again, for us as artists, we have another layer of expectation. and then another layer of frustration to normal people. So again, you can't be angry or frustrated when the person gives you the wrong coffee at Starbucks, or your client asks you to change your illustration. Oh my god, but it was so perfect. Now you ruined my art, my masterpiece. And all that weak happiness or way of expecting happiness falls down. Okay, guys, last year I had a clinic burnout. I have told you about this before, but again, last year in 2024, I had a clinic burnout followed by depression. It was really, really hard for me. I'm still healing from that. And today I'm really thankful for that, because that led me to this kind of content, to create this kind of content, to stop teaching people only how to build portfolio, only how to attract clients, to stop teaching only the business of illustration. It is awesome to teach about the illustration business, but again, all the strategies are not going to work if our minds are not healthy, if you're not happy with yourself. Okay, so I'm really thankful for that burnout and that depression. It was hard then, but again, it brought me a new light, a new way of seeing things. But then, after reading Michael Singer's book and learned about the power of surrender, of trusting what life brings to us, I felt a really strong and durable peace of mind. That was really happiness. I think for the first time, I felt real happiness. If I wanted to, if the day was going to be like, I expected the day to be sunny, then there's a storm, I learned to, okay, so if the day is going to be different from what had imagined, how can I do, what can I make to make this great? So instead of going outside, I'm going to create art. So when I lose the subway or the bus, usually I was going to, in the past, I used to get like really angry because I'm delayed. My day is going to be all different, and I'm going to be in a rush all day, really stressful. And then what I started to realize, that all that stress didn't bring any solution to me, only problems. So then, after reading that book, after learning about surrender to the life events, when I lost the bus, it happens. Sometimes we lose the bus. It's normal, or your car breaks down if you don't use the bus. Okay, this is an opportunity. When I lose the bus now, here in Lisbon, we don't have a car. We have a car in Brazil, but not here. When I lose the bus, oh, okay, now I have time to drink another coffee and read some more books, or I can think and write down my thoughts or create a new sketch until the next bus comes. So instead of fighting or creating, resisting the event that life has brought me, now I learn to surrender and trust. Okay, so I wasn't supposed to enter that bus. I am supposed to do this now instead. So you can apply this to all the situations in your life. When you don't get the job that you always wanted, you sent a quote to the client, and then he decided to choose another artist. That's okay. So now you have the chance to work on something else. Maybe now you can develop your style, or maybe you can create that online course that you always wanted to. You were not supposed to be working on that project. You were supposed to be doing something else. This, guys, is the true beauty of life. When you start to learn to trust what life, and here you can say God, brings to you. When you when life brings something different from our expectations to us, life and God is bringing us direction. Like an art director gives you direction in your work, life and God brings you direction to your life. into what you should be doing. This is awesome, and this really brings us peace, true peace and happiness. Trust me. You put away all that pressure that your mind were putting on yourself. Life doesn't bring you pressure. Pressure is created by our minds. We are the only responsible for creating pressures. Oh, Victor, that's not true because my brother and my son and whoever is annoying me and it is pressuring me. I have a boss that's grieving me, that is bullying me, and I don't know what happens. Any situation, guys, we are free to let go. We are free to change what we do in our lives. Everything is created in your heads, okay, in your minds. So it is strange to talk about this because when I started to surrender, to trust the flow of life and the life events, but I felt that I was detached from my mind. Imagine there was a cloud of thoughts and illusion and pressure that my mind was creating, and my head was inside of this cloud. So when I stepped away, imagine that this cloud is staying in the same place, but I could give a step away and see everything, all those thoughts and emotion, in third person view. I could see all the illusion and craziness and suffering that my mind was causing to me. The suffering and illusion that my mind had created. So when I saw that I could see and know, observe and see my thoughts, I could feel and see that I wasn't my thoughts and my mind. This is a little bit philosophical, or maybe a little bit too deep for you now, depending on how your life experiences. But we can see our thoughts. We can realize what's happening inside of our heads. Does it make sense to you? Leave a comment here, please. So if this makes sense for you, okay? So for the first time in 42 years of my life, I could see the illusion that I was living, a life full of expectations, of trying to control how things should happen and how much money I should be getting every month, of how my art should look like. And this is just crazy, guys. This is just crazy because my best illustrations ever, the ones that I like the most, the ones that brought me more clients, they were not planned. They were spontaneous. They happened when I was drawing for myself and not for any client. And this is huge, guys, because we are living a really changing moment in our career, in our industry. Today, it's clear for me that when you try to create work, art for a client or for a market, for a certain industry, and not for yourself, you're going to be generic and you're not going to connect to real clients that want the kind of work that you do today. So we have some different models that used to happen in our industry. Uh, there used to be like in the past you could create art for illustration portfolio for advertising. Then you could create an illustration portfolio for children's illustration. Okay, but today it is different, and it's going to be even more with the advance of AI. So customization and creating work that is real to you, because this kind of work is going to be felt as real for other people and other clients. So you're going to be, through your art, be able to connect with clients that have the same values, the same that work with the same themes and subjects that you. So what I'm saying is, my best drawings that attract the most clients were my personal work that were created for myself, because it connected with the art director, the designer that was in the company and the publisher or the advertising agency. And this is really true because all the work, all the commercial work that are present in my portfolio, they are there for a purpose, okay, to show to the clients I have experience, but they are not the ones that brought me work. Every time that a client says, oh, I love that work that is in your portfolio, they are mentioning personal work. So again, my best illustrations ever were not planned. So all that expectations didn't bring me clients, didn't bring me fulfillment. But when I was drawing, creating for myself, and the art itself was true for myself, it started to be true for the clients. So all that, those expectations of how my art should look like, how the kind of clients I should be attracting, they didn't bring me any positiveness. It wasn't good for me. Okay. So when I was drawing for myself, and then I created the best work for my career, they were not happen. They didn't happen under any perfect conditions. So the perfect condition usually doesn't happen. Okay, my best art happened. Guess what? When there was no expectations about the final result, I was just drawing for myself and feeling the moment. I was enjoying the process. And these guys, AI, and this is for me, in my opinion, where AI fails, because it doesn't bring the joy of the process of you see the lines forming, getting formed in your paper or on your screen. My best artwork was created when I was enjoying the process, seeing the images forming on paper or on the screen. So, in my opinion, for an artist to feel really happy, to really enjoy working with illustration, and again, this I'm telling you, this has been told to you by someone who achieved success. I was getting good money, making good money from my art, but then I felt down. I broke down with a burnout and depression. I felt emptiness. So for you to feel really, for you to really enjoy and be happy working with illustration and to achieve the best financial success possible, this can happen together. There must be no expectations. Okay? No expectations. Let me tell you about one of the life universal laws. And this is I learned in the hard way. Okay, so the more you desire something, the less likely you're going to get it. The more you desire something, the less likely you are to get it. Repeat again. The more you want something, the less likely you are to get it. Why does that happen? When you say that you want something, I want that car, I want to have that portfolio, I want to work with that client, I want to draw like my illustration heroes, you want to have a new iPad, you want to have an amazing art, you want to be famous on social media because of your art, you want to insert here anything that comes to your mind. You want, what do you insert here after want? I want to that. When you say that you want, you're telling to life, to God, to world, that you still don't have that. If you say, I want something, what your mind is saying that you still don't have that, okay? And it does sound like natural. Oh, so what should I be doing that? How should I say that? Okay, so when you say that you want something, you're telling the world, life, that you don't have that. In life, what is instead of bringing to you what you want, life is going to bring to you situations. Again, let me say this in a different way. When you say that you want something, life is going to bring to you exactly what you are saying. So you say, I want to travel more. Okay, so life is going to bring you situations for you to keep wanting to travel more and not exactly traveling more. This is really huge because this is one way for you to create the reality and create the success in the life that you want to. You need to change how you say this. Okay. Um, let me give you an example from a teaching that I got from my father last year. He said, my mother, she passed away last September, and it was like 1 month after we moved to here to Lisbon, to Portugal. And when we went to say goodbye to my father and my mother back in Brazil, he told me that he was praying for God to restore his faith. He said, "Please, God, restore my faith." And I really loved that. It was really amazing because when you say that you want something to be restored, it means that you have that inside of yourself. So if you want your faith to be restored, you have faith inside of yourself, but maybe it's not as strong as you think. And I love that quote from my father. So I wanted to have more faith. And the word restore meant that I had faith, but it was just hidden inside of me, okay? But when I prayed to God to restore my faith, what did life brought to me? It didn't bring me more faith, but it brought me hard situations, so I had to total my faith to God to go through them. Life brought me hard situations so I could make my faith stronger. And then, guys, it was one after another. And it was really crazy. Then I said, "Okay, God, I got it. I understood. It is proving to me now. You are here with me. My faith has been restored. Thank you. You don't need to restore anything else." And then guess what? The hard situations stopped coming to my life. It's insane how things work like that. So when you have expectations in your life, in your career, you're saying to life that things are not how you want them to be. That things should be different. So doing that, you're just perpetuating that situation. You're going to have more situations like that. So if you want, if you say, "I want better clients," you're going to keep wanting better clients because life is going to keep bringing you bad clients. Life is going to keep bringing you clients that pay you less than you expected. So stop wanting to have better clients and stop thanking for the good clients that you have. Or if you still don't have clients, be thankful for having the time, the free time to work your creativity. Be thankful, then good things start to come to you. Okay? Don't ask for success. Be thankful for your success. But Victor, how can I thank something if I still don't have it? How can I be thankful for my success if I still don't have success? Start be start being thankful for the small ones. Be thankful for being able to draw. A lot of people would love to be able to draw, but they can't. You have this gift. You are able to draw. Maybe you're not happy with the kind of drawing that you're doing today, but be thankful for being able to draw. Be thankful for your artistic vision. Some people would love to draw, guys, but sometimes they are not allowed to do that. Sometimes people are not allowed to express themselves. Sometimes they don't allow themselves to do that. This week, actually last week, Melina, my youngest, asked my wife, Fernanda, for her to draw characters from Lilo and Stitch, the Disney show. And then my wife said, "I can't do that. Ask Dad. Dad does that better." So my wife, I was telling this to my youngest. And then I told to Fernanda, my wife, since I told her, "Go on, make this drawing." It was a Friday night. We were drinking our white wine, and I told her, "Go on, do that. Make this drawing. You're not going to be judged. I'm not going to tell you if your drawing is good or bad. And then Melina said, "Yeah, mom, I'm not going to say if your drawing is good or bad." And then she started drawing, and I could see that she was emotioned. Is this correct? Emotion? Yeah. While drawing. And after she finished her drawing, it was really full of expression. My wife is the same age as me, okay, 42 years old. After she finished the drawing, her eyes were shining. She was full of joy. She did it. So her eyes were shining, and Melina said, "Oh, mom, I love it." And then my wife, Fernanda, said, "I think I had never done that. I think I've never created a drawing because I was feared. I had the fear of being judged or not creating a good drawing." So for 42 years, she has been keeping her artistic side because of expectations of how people would judge her. She created like expectations of how things should be, so she never allowed herself to get a pencil and make a drawing. This is so deep, guys, and so strong. We don't need to work with illustration to make drawings. Yeah, it's a form, a way of expression to put what is inside of us to the world. So, guys, imagine this. It was really a really strong event because I said, "Oh my God, not everybody allows themselves to draw." So be thankful for your small victories. You are allowed to draw. You can draw. You can put your artistic vision on your work. Be thankful for the small victories you have in your life and artistic career. Even in the darkest of times of your life, okay? Even in the darkest of times, we can find things that we can be thankful for. And this is the way for you to heal yourself, for you to find a way to the light, for you to find happiness and joy again. But Victor, if having expectations is something bad, how can I go on? I need to have dreams. Yes, you need to have dreams. I need to accomplish my dreams. Dreams is what moves us on. Yes, it is. Yes, dreams is what moves us on. But let me tell you the difference between desire and goal. Okay, goal is a place that you want to go to. And desire is you saying that you haven't been there yet. You can have a goal to travel to Japan. Having a goal to travel to Japan is different than keep feeding a desire for you to go to Japan. Desire is full of expectations. So when you desire something, you are saying to life that you still don't have it. Okay? So one simple way, one simple thing that you can do is to write your goals, put on a small piece of paper, and be as specific as possible. If you want to go to Japan, when you're going to do that, how you're going to travel, what is the flying company that you're going to be to go, or what are the cities that you're going to visit in Japan. Don't be generic on your goals, okay? So write down your goals, do it on a small piece of paper, and after you finish writing it, put it on a drawer or on the last page of your sketchbook. And then after that, your goal has been created. And after that, focus on the process, on the journey. This way, you're going to know where you're going to, but you will be enjoying the road. So you need to save money for the trip. Okay, so you're going to focus on every penny, every dollar that you're putting on your jar or on your bank account for that goal to be accomplished. You're not going to be only desiring to go to Japan or to buy a new apartment, buy your first house or whatever. So a goal is different from a desire. Okay? Again, desire is full full of expectations of how things should happen for you to make that wish, for that goal to happen. Sometimes, oh, I want to go to Japan and all the money is going to come from my illustrations. This is expectation of how things should be. Maybe you're going to Japan, but the money is not going to come from your illustration career, okay? Sometimes you get money from a place or someone that you wasn't expecting. So desire is different than goal, okay? So focus on the process. If you keep having expectations about getting there, about achieving your goal, then what happens is that you're going to be in the way of life. You're going to delay things. You want to go to Japan? Okay, so life creates these situations for that to happen. So if you keep creating with your expectations, you're going to try to change the road that life is pointing you to that goal. Does that make sense? So if you keep in the way of the life flow, you're going to delay things. And then maybe probably you're going to be frustrated until you quit and try another goal and you forget the first one. And you keep on this cycle, changing, jumping from one goal, one desire to another desire. And that brings you frustration and expectation and anxiety. So again, guys, we need to learn to trust what life brings to us. We can have our dreams, we can have our goals, but we need to enjoy the process and trust how life is going to take us to that goal. Okay? Uh, it's just like traveling with children. If you don't have children, let me explain how it is. If you're going to make a road trip with your children, and it is going to take like 50 minutes, after 2 minutes, they start to ask for you, are we there yet? Are we there yet? And now, are we there yet? It's really annoying. So the more they create expectations, the longer the trip is going to be. But when they are distracted, when they are literally enjoying the road, enjoying the journey, it goes fast. And when they least expect, they are there at the end of the trip. It's the same example here. Okay, so every time my kids start asking, "Are we there yet?" I start to show them the small things to enjoy during the trip. The cows on the countryside, the clouds, and the food we have inside of the car, the songs, the talks, and all that. So they start to enjoy the process, the journey until there. Okay? And suddenly when do that, they relax. And again, when they least expect, we get there. So in your career, it works exactly in the same way. You can create your goals, and then just do your art. Keep improving your art. Keep testing AI for you to, not as a final result, but as an experiment. Instead of creating resistance to AI, why not enjoy it or learn to enjoy it? Keep building your portfolio, keep prospecting clients, but free of expectations. And then, when you least expect, an amazing client finds you. An awesome project comes to you after you send an email, for example. Guys, one of the secrets of life is to live free of expectation. This is true happiness. You can do this exercise. If you have something today that is making you anxious, try to imagine it without expectation. Imagine you just living you imagine just living doing what you are doing at the moment with no expectation. If you are driving, imagine you driving with no expectations. Imagine that if you are cooking, be present at the moment and imagine you are cooking free of expectations. If you are drawing, illustrating, imagine that you are illustrating free of expectations and not imagine of how things should be or what is going to happen after. This, my friends, when you are present at the moment, free of expectations, this is freedom and true happiness. I learned this last year. Today I can today I can tell you, say to you that I am truly happy. And I am a person that live again full of expectations. I try to control everything, everything. The deadlines. I used to create deadlines for myself. I used to create pressure for myself. Sometimes my work, my illustration wasn't delayed, but I was putting so much pressure inside of my head that I was struggling, guys. I was creating expectations after expectations, and that just led me to burnout and depression. It doesn't work like that. Okay, it doesn't work like that. We need to live a life free of expectations. And this is only possible when you start to trust what life brings to you. All the situations, everything. Then you can find happiness and joy even in the darkest moments of your life. Okay? So, guys, I hope this talk was inspirational for you. Hope you enjoy today's podcast. The illustration in the creative market, as you can see, is changing fast. Okay, and today, in my opinion, creating a strong personal online presence and going deep on a niche that is specific to yourself, that is true to yourself, so you create the kind of work that speaks to your inner self. When you work with the kind of art that brings you not only prosperity but also joy and fulfillment while attracting the right client for you, that is going to respect your vision and hire you for who you really are. This is not only an opportunity for happiness, but also, in my opinion, a matter of survival in our career, in our industry. The next years, guys, we are going to be going deeper and deeper in the age of AI. There's no turning back, really. Okay. So if you want to learn the strategies to build an illustration portfolio with work that is true to yourself and that leads to clients that are aligned to this truth, you can sign up today for Portifa Express. That is my online portfolio course with strategies for you to create with peace in your own time a client magnet portfolio for you to work with a kind of work that is true to yourself. Okay, so you can find the link if you want to learn more. You can sign up. You can find the link here in the description, and you can learn more about it in the description. Okay, of today's episode. Again, my name is Victor Boyden, illustrator and an art director, and I'm bringing you here a new way for you to approach life and also the illustration career. See you in the next episode of Ilustra Unfiltered podcast. Bye.